Hi, welcome back. I'm Connie Kolosey, Director of Media, Text, and Digital Learning, and I have here today Mr. Mike McCullough, who is a STEM teacher at Seminole Middle School, and we are talking about a great event that he put together, the Women in STEM Breakfast, and he gathered a group of professional women to talk with his female students about their STEM careers. So Mike, one of the things that really impressed me was the broad array of careers. It isn't just a biologist looking at fish guts.
Definitely, and that was one of the things I made a point of. Early when I started the process of organizing the event, I came up with a lot of engineers, and not that it's a bad thing, but I was just very heavy in engineers, so I made a point to start going through and looking for other STEM careers. I went and purposely found an architect. I purposely went and found an accountant. I purposely went and brought in science teachers too, just because I wanted to show the ladies that there is a wide, when we talk about STEM, it's just not engineering, that there is a wide umbrella that fits underneath that.
One of the other people that I talked to was Becky McCoy, and she works for Duke Energy. Let's hear what she had to say.
I'm a mechanical engineer at Duke Energy. I work in the Fossil Hydro Operations Department, and I work with power plants, and I diagnose their efficiency. I accumulate data, and I review it and analyze it, and I determine how well they're operating and what areas they need to improve in. Mostly what I do now is I go into my office in downtown St. Petersburg at the Duke Energy headquarters, and I turn on my computer, and I have 3 screens, and I open up my Excel spreadsheets and my other software, and I look at all of the data that's coming in, because everything is wired now coming into the computer. Before, when I started about 25 years ago, I would go to the power plant and I would actually have to hook up my computer to the plant computer and collect all the data and then go back in my office and review it. So I use Excel spreadsheets a lot. I use a lot of software that's specific to my job. And I also talk with the plants. I'm on a lot of conference calls. I also go and visit the plants and talk with them and review their performance and give them ideas on how to improve.
So what would be your message to middle school girls who may be interested in a field in STEM?
I would encourage them, especially if they have an aptitude or they love math and science, to explore it. It is not a male occupation anymore. And it's very interesting, and every day I find a new puzzle to solve or a new problem to conquer. And it's a very satisfying job.
So we have a biologist, we have a mechanical engineer, and what was really neat, which I don't know if you're aware of, both Kat and Becky work downtown St. Pete, very different kinds of careers, very STEM-oriented, very male-oriented, and they had never met each other. And they really struck up having a lot in common. They were even discussing movies in common that they enjoy. So this event was actually also a connecting point for some of the other women.
And that's what I would love it to, expand and to start maybe a connection that, a Pinellas County STEM society or something to that effect that, that could reach into some of these schools and help some of our females who, like I said, don't understand what STEM is and show them, hey, these are the options you have. These are the doors that you can choose.
Another guest that really intrigued me was Elizabeth Teichman, and she works in the field of solar. And let's hear from her.
I do all of the commercial installations for our company. I take them from when we have a signed contract to a completion. So I manage the engineering and the permitting. I coordinate construction schedules and procurements all the way to completion, interconnection with the local utilities, and then ribbon cutting ceremonies and whatever happiness we have at the end of a project. I went to school for environmental engineering for natural resource management, and I have done some hazardous materials, site evaluation, site planning, that kind of thing. I also got into service work, technicians, dispatching, some construction and that kind of thing. I'm in the process of doing my OSHA certification for construction projects. I also am in the process of taking MicroMasters in photovoltaic engineering, electrical engineering. There is training. For installers, you need to learn about the systems and the materials and how they go together, some electrical, some structural engineering, that kind of thing. For me particularly, it's about learning the processes, contract negotiations, contract writing. I also do materials procurement, so negotiating contracts and materials, logistics as well, transportation issues, equipment, what kind of contracting and heavy lift equipment we need, dealing with people. So pretty much anything you can think of that you can learn, you can put to use in the solar industry, because just like every other industry, it requires a multitude of disciplines.
So, like you, she did not envision where she would end up. In fact, probably where she ended up didn't exist when
Yeah.
she started, and that's really going to be something that happens with our girls.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And for STEM careers, most of the STEM careers that our students and my students will see do not exist right now. And so, yes, we can fill them with as much content as possible, but really we want them just to become problem solvers, to look at a situation, to look at, an array of things and be able to pull the important information, be able to get the things that they need out of that.
And even the people skills.
Oh, yeah.
She's talking about, she takes it all the way down to planning the event with a ribbon cutting and event planning. So, so again, and I asked her advice for middle school girls. So let's see what she has to say.
Learn everything you can, because everything changes in science. We're always learning new things, and everything you can learn puts another piece of the puzzle together. The wonderful thing about science is it's a bunch of puzzles, and you can learn something new every day, and you can build on other people's work. It's extremely collaborative, and no matter what discipline you go into, it's always part of the real world, even if you might not think it is.
So the adults are interesting, but really this is all about the kids,
Definitely.
right? And I did get a chance to talk to a couple of your students, and each one very unique and different. And let's get a little bit about their reaction to this.
We build a lot of stuff. We build like cars, which we're working on right now. We build our template on a computer, and then we print it out, and then we put it on a wood piece, and then we cut that out, and then we put a CO2 cartridge in the back, and then we just race them as fun.
Do you have any ideas about what you might want to do when you graduate from high school?
I kind of want to be a doctor.
The Marine cat, Miss Cat Brown, said she worked with the animals, like to get the, see what's wrong with the animals, like fish. Fish can get diseases like us humans can. So it's like kind of interesting. We can like help the fishes in the water, see what's wrong with them.
And what kinds of things are you doing in class?
As right now, we're working on gliders. Like we building them, and then we like the brochure we made a lot of stuff, like the parachutes. It's kind of fun.
Do you have any idea what you want to do after high school?
Basketball.
You're a good basketball player, huh?
I want to major in journalism.
Who have you talked here to today?
Katie, she works with the waste management. It was pretty cool to see that, because she's not only working with waste management, but she's working to build coral reefs for the fish. In a STEM class, we're building gliders right now. And then,
Do you do the after school stuff?
yes, I'm also in a STEM academy, and right now he has a group of us girls building a suspension bridge.
A suspension bridge.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about after high school?
I kind of want to be geared more towards the sciences, like biology.
Right now we're learning like to cut a parallelogram in half and find the area of one of them, and then cut that number that you have in half. It was pretty hard, but I got it.
History is my favorite.
So what's the importance of knowing history?
Know who brought us this far and who stood up for what's right. Like Martin Luther King stood up for what's right. Rosa Parks, so my inspiration.
What are you studying in science class right now?
We're doing a project about planets. So we have the template to where we just discovered a new planet. We have to do temperature and is it sustainable for life, the distance from the sun, where you would want it to be located, is it terrestrial or gas giant.
So, Mike, one of the structures that you put in place for these girls as they interviewed these women, they had like little interview questions, sentence starters to kind of help everybody
Right,
move
just
along.
get the conversation going. Yeah.
Right. So I imagine when we were all done, you had a chance to look through those. What did you see?
The funny thing was I kept and it was the girls that would notice it too, is that they were liking the same subjects as the people that they were interviewing. Math, where a lot of people are scared to say or they're intimidated to say that they like math. A lot of my professional women were saying that, and then my girls were noticing on their notes that's my subject too, my favorite subject too. So I thought it was very interesting that math kept being a topic that came back up.
Well, you and I are both people that have chosen to be in the middle school, and that is exactly why, right?
Yes.
Because they really are still trying to figure out who they are and what they're going to do. Any other insights from the?
I did also notice, like you said, the connections that were being made from the professional women. I did have someone also work with one of our Duke ladies, our Duke representatives. Basically, they kind of joined forces and helped me get ready for a project that I'm working on. Like I said, I'm building the environmental engineering class, and both the two representatives, one from SPC and one from Duke, said that they would work with me, and so they're working with me now to help build and make this class the best that it can be.
Mike, who asked you to do this?
Nobody. It just kind of, just something I knew that needed to be done.
Yeah. And that's really amazing. Sometimes we hear about all that we can't do working in the public school system, and it's really actually very inspiring to me to have somebody who says, this would be a cool thing to do. You go to your administrator and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, and you're the kind of guy, we just need to get out of your way and let you do your thing.
Please, but I've had great bosses who have helped me reach these goals. I mean, sometimes I have some lofty ideas, and those people have helped me get to where I am now, so I am very thankful for that.
Well, thanks for all you do for kids. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, and I hope you'll join us next time on Digital Learning.